Welcome to HCCTV's Get a Job. I'm your host, job search expert Rick Gillis. On this show, I talk with experts in job search, human resources, staffing, legal issues, and more. If it's employment related, you could expect to find it here on Get a Job. Today is no different. Today, my guest is a lady you have seen on this show several times, but it recently struck me that when I have asked Cecilia Rose to guest on the show, it was in support of a specific topic of my choosing. I thought important enough that today I present to you the Cecilia Rose Show. Cecilia is recognized as an executive attitudinal game changer, say that 3 times, and an authority on coaching professionals who are either stuck in their career, at an impasse, or are ready to open the door to new opportunities. For those of you in my audience who work at the executive level, pay attention. For those of you who aspire to one day serve in an executive capacity, don't move. From one-on-one coaching to exclusive workshops and keynote speaking, Cecilia's passion lies in providing the space and the place for professionals to move in, up, or out of an organization confidently and successfully. Welcome, Cecilia.
Oh, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Glad to
Rick.
have you back. You know, I want to start with, your company is called Next Door Strategies. Why?
Well, one of the things that I found in my own career and then working with people for so long, it's almost 18 years as a coach, I found that it's going through a next door. And going through that next door, crossing over that threshold, amazing things can happen. And so to me, it was a beautiful, beautiful metaphor of what actually happens when you're in transition, going to transformation.
I want to ask you, what is your background? Why do I believe you? Why do I trust you to guide me and help support my career as an executive?
Well, first of all, I would say this. I have walked in the shoes of my clients, okay? So I have had a career where there have been the ups and the downs, and I remember probably my first major transition was terrifying, and I had no idea what to do. I was making incredibly awful mistakes, and it was like, it wasn't pretty, okay? And when I came into, first I started out in consulting. I was with, well, even before I did that, I was brought in with an outplacement firm that was out of San Diego, and I did work for them. And then the next thing I knew, I was asked to come with another company and come with it. So outplacement really is my foundation. So I got a very good one.
Explain, what is outplacement, for the sake of our audience?
Okay.
Tell them what outplacement means.
Sure. What outplacement is when a company usually is going to let some people go for whatever reason, or whether it's a reorg or anyway, something's happening.
The economy,
yes,
shifting,
exactly.
whatever.
So they make that decision, and what usually it's larger companies that offer this. It's not always, but it usually is. And what they want to do is they want to make sure that their employees have like a bridge or some kind of way to get them to the next step. So they bring in an outplacement.
Or through the next door.
Or through, I like it. You got
those
10,000 points for
Okay.
that. So what it is in order to do that so that it's not so difficult, not so frightening, they'll bring in an outplacement firm who has consultants who are trained specifically as career experts.
You call yourself an executive career strategist, change agent, trusted advisor, and of course I know you're a business speaker. Trusted advisor, a lot of one-on-one?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
I can't even count how many one-on-ones I've done.
I have a friend of mine who's a psychologist in Beverly Hills, and I remember one time telling her, I said, you must have some amazing stories. And she said, oh, no, most of my clients are very well behaved. How are your clients?
I have the most incredible clients that you could possibly fathom. And
Now, these are C-suite?
These are
meaning
C-suite.
CEO, CIO, CFO,
SVPs.
COO.
I have the C-suite. I have the SVP. I have
SVP means senior vice president.
Senior vice president. So my clients are, and they could be a professional like an engineer, but they're still at a senior level.
Okay.
Okay. And you make me think about one story. One of my guys, engineer, been with one of the top 4 oil and gas companies. That kind of narrows it. And he was like having great difficulty because he kept telling me, Cecilia, I'm an engineer. I can't get my head around metaphors. I can't get my head around what you're wanting me to do and carry on conversations. I'm an engineer.
Meaning he was dealing with it. He's an analytical.
Exactly. And it hurt his brain, literally, he said, to think like that.
He couldn't have sold cars.
He couldn't. Oh,
No.
my gosh. No. So what to me is so exciting with my clients and to see it. In fact, one of the things I say which fits in here, I wish for my clients a very long transition. And that's when they want to jump across the table and strangle me. And then they get it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
Then they get it. Because what's happening is everybody thinks a transition career-wise is about getting a job. And in my estimation, it's not about getting a job. It's about transforming on such a profound and integral level that you are taking new skill sets and meeting new people and connecting in ways in a world that you didn't know existed that is now going to prepare you to go through that next door to your next position in a way you could not have showed up otherwise.
Okay, we only have a couple minutes left in this segment. I want to hit this because I think it's really important. You are known for taking the pain out of change.
Yes.
But you just told me you're going to cause some change by making them take the long. So let's talk about that, and I hope if we don't finish it, we'll finish through the next segment.
Well, while I'm taking them through that long, they are having fun.
Okay.
They are learning about what works and what doesn't work. They've got somebody there to encourage them. I have my senior executive roundtable, so now they're surrounded by other people who are their peers, who are there to pick them up when they're sad and hurling themselves off, onto walls. When they don't think that they can go any further, it like sets up a board of advisors. So now they're building relationships that a lot of them have had for years and years and years since they went through it.
Right.
And not only that, but I take that sting out. I take that, feeling bad about myself. And, here I am.
That comes along with displacement.
Absolutely.
Outplacement, whatever you want to call it.
Exactly. And they sometimes, a lot of times they feel humiliated and what did I do wrong? And I was so good and look at all the money I brought the company. How of all the people that they could have let go, they picked the wrong person. And almost every time I hear from them, this is the first time I've ever not had a job. So this is pretty shocking for them. And so I help take the shock out of it, ground them, get them prepared to get some new skill sets, which are going to take them to even a higher level in their next move.
And with that, I'm going to take a break.
Sure.
I want to talk about two things when we get back. This is really important. One of the things that this is straight from your bio too that I love, accelerating the epiphany process. I'm going to talk about that when we come back after this break. And you mentioned your senior executive roundtable. I don't know what that means, so we're going to talk about that when we get back. I'm Rick Gillis. You're watching HCCTV's Get a Job. My guest is Cecilia Rose, the world famous Cecilia Rose and friend, and the founder and president of Next Door Strategies. We'll be right back.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing. Believe me, I'm good at it.
Once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell him.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? He needs something a little more
Persuasive.
Yes.
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
You sure you don't want some? It's chamomile. Listen, you are extremely terrifying. Just the scariest undead subhuman thing on TV, and I really mean that. But I am worried that you could give my kids nightmares if they see you, so I'm gonna have to block you. So that's it. Oh, and tell the zombies they're blocked too.
Welcome back to HCCTV's Get a Job. My guest today is Executive Career Strategist Cecilia Rose. Cecilia, before we went to break, I wanted to follow up with accelerating the epiphany process. Okay, that sounds pretty cool. What does it mean?
Well, what accelerating the epiphany process means is that most people, especially when they're going through a career search, they don't have a coach. They don't have anybody to walk them and hold their hands, okay? So what?
And this is not just at the C-suite or VP
No.
level. This is everybody
This is all
at
the
every
way
level.
across the board.
Okay, good. Let's keep that in mind. All right.
So what happens is you get very lost. You go around in circles. You don't know what to do. You don't have a plan. So what I do is I build with you. I strategize with you. And as we're strategizing, you're going, oh my God, I could have had a V8. If I would have known that, I could have done this, I could have moved. Because a lot of times when I get people, they're at their wits' end.
Right.
They have been wandering around.
You and I both. Right.
Exactly. And they've been making all kinds of mistakes. And then finally they throw...
Working hard, not smart.
Exactly. And they don't know what to do.
Right.
So when they work with me, the strategy sets off all of those epiphanies, and that's when they're, oh my gosh.
Okay, I'm now going to officially steal that. You better trademark that one.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
Better
you know
move
that
quick.
success is not an accident.
Yes, absolutely. And a lot of people don't realize what it takes to be a success. They don't think or realize that there are certain steps that have been put into place, that there are certain things that need to happen.
Protocols.
Exactly, for you to get it moving. The other thing that they tend to do is when they're in the job, they just get so into the job
Right.
that they have no plan, they have no exit plan, they have no way of, they're not looking at what they want to do next, so they're not putting anything together, and then they think that it's never going to be them.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And then all of a sudden it's, now
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, you're singing my song too. It's a sad thing. It's a very sad thing. You mentioned the senior, and real quick, because we got a lot
Yes.
to cover.
Okay.
You mentioned the senior executive
Right.
roundtable.
I have.
What is that?
Okay, the Senior Executive Roundtable is, we meet every week, and it's the senior executives. We come together.
Okay, this is something you host in
Exactly.
Houston,
I've been doing it
Texas.
for 13 years,
Okay.
over 13 years. And so it's a place to come together. I do coaching of a group, really. So I facilitate. Then you have all of the energy in this incredible gold mine of all of this experience sitting at the table, plus mine, and it absolutely sets off fireworks. And then I also have the Senior Executive Forum, which is 70% people not in search and 30% that are. So now they can support each other as a peer group and help each other move forward,
Wow,
because
that
we
must
never
be like
know
trying
anymore.
to stop a waterfall
It's
once
wonderful.
you get it going.
You never
That's
know what
amazing.
drop will split
Right.
the rock.
Okay, still staying on point, and we have some talking points, which might be the last segment. You help people overcome leadership shortcomings.
Absolutely.
Now that's interesting because these are leaders.
Yes.
Or we thought.
Yes.
And you help them fulfill their executive potential.
Yes.
You would have thought.
Yes. Leaders are not perfect.
Really?
And that's what the true leader, really, real leaders, first of all, know who they are. And second of all, they're authentic and they're willing to be vulnerable and they're willing to see their own shortcomings. And when they
Is that a tough place to take some of these people?
That is a tough place
Male
to
and
take
female.
people. Absolutely.
It doesn't matter.
No, because they want to be perfect.
Okay.
And they want to be seen as perfect.
Okay.
And they don't realize that it is in the imperfection that people are inspired and want to follow them. They don't want to follow somebody that's pompous and arrogant.
Real quick, do you find that I hear all the time that no successful person does not have failure in their background?
Absolutely. And if you're not
Okay.
failing, you're not learning. And if you're
not
not
moving
learning,
ahead.
guess what? You're not a leader. And if you're not, okay, leaders are readers. And, leaders are leader. God, I can't even talk.
That's okay.
Okay, it's contagious. Okay, so leaders are readers, and also learners are earners. So if you're not learning all the time, which is what a leader
Continuously,
does,
sure.
then you're not going to earn, and not only that, you're not going to achieve what it is that you want through your leadership, your inspiration, and the people who follow you.
You also teach the ever-evolving, and this is important, new marketplace by increasing the right kind of exposure, which
Absolutely.
is playing along with all that, visibility and perceived value to an organization. And you know, it's too bad we have to say perceived.
Yes.
Because hard rock value is verifiable, justifiable, quantifiable, but you're saying perceived. Let's talk about that.
Okay, so what happens, well, first of all, I've got to keep up with trends. I've got to know what's happening. I've got to know, in fact, that's why I started the Senior Executive Forum and the Roundtable. It's because I saw these senior level people, they tend to isolate, they tend to stay within their own network, which is very small. They don't ask for help, God forbid, should they do that. And
Signs
they
of
would
weakness.
appear weak.
Yeah.
So you've got all of these different variables that is surrounding them. So what I do is I come in and we talk about visibility. Are you being seen? Because a lot of them don't want to be seen, okay? And it's very difficult if no one can see you to lead. So we work on all different levels of visibility. There's not just one, and especially with social media and the way
Right.
the world is moving,
Right.
if you're not visible, if you're not on LinkedIn, if you're not, in fact, what we're seeing a lot of now are the visual CVs coming up, okay? So things are constantly
CV is a
changing.
curriculum vitae or visual resume.
Exactly.
Right.
And so we have a lot of things that are shifting right now, and with that, they need to be able to shift if they're going to be a true thought leader. Now, what happens is I tell them, in the new world, in the new marketplace, you have got to be a thought leader. And that's not a leader that had a thought once.
Okay. Right.
You
continuously expanding and expounding.
Look at a Steve Jobs.
You know what? That's where I keep thinking of, because his visibility was global, national, regional, and internal.
Right.
That was pretty good.
You get 50,000 points for that.
Okay.
And not only that, but let me add something else about Steve Jobs. When he looked at the iPhone, and now I wasn't there, so I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing. So he looks at it and he goes, oh my gosh, you can get on the internet with this. And then you could do, that's a thought leader, because they are looking at how many revenue streams can come out of one product that will impact the bottom line, the revenue streams for a company. So we want multiple revenue streams as a senior leader, that they want you on their team. And one of the things that we're seeing right now in the new marketplace is, if you are not, and I don't care if you are the receptionist or the janitor or a senior level person or mid-management, you better be contributing to the bottom line.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff. That's really rich. That's crazy. And I agree with everything you're saying. Okay, let me take that. Let's translate that. Let's flip that back over again. Let's take that to a job seeker, somebody just getting out of school, new career dynamics, visibility, exposure.
Absolutely.
Of course, we're going to do, I mean, we're going to tell everybody to get on LinkedIn. We know that. That's the #1 job search tool. Beyond that, and let's don't go into the be careful, you know, Google's a new resume, be careful what you say on Facebook.
No.
All
what
this,
I'm going to go into is I'm going to go into collateral. Career collateral is what I call it. So career collateral is, do you have a good resume? It better be darn good. Do you have a value proposition statement? It better be good. Do you know who you are metaphorically? Do you know who you are as a person? Do you know who you are as far as how you want to show up in your career? Those are a given. But if you're not investing in yourself, which I call career investment, then guess what? You are not going to have a career insurance policy. So you need to have a career insurance policy. And how do you get that? You get that by being visible. You get that by interpersonal skills.
Stop. Let's save it right there, because what a great tease to leave this segment on. We got one more segment coming back, because I definitely wanted to hit career insurance, because I haven't discussed this with you yet. And it sounds really important and really powerful, and you already let it in. And so I just stopped. So like they do on Good Morning America, we'll be right back with the play of the day. We're going to finish that up. We will be right back with Cecilia Rose, founder and president of Nextdoor Strategies. I'm Rick Gillis, here watching HCCTV's Get a Job. Thanks for being there. We'll be right back.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry.
Just...
I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
We are back with the founder and president of Nextdoor Strategies, the world famous Cecilia Rose, at least in my world. We ended that last segment. I cut you off right at career insurance. Okay, how do you get a policy? What is career investment? Career insurance. And I stopped you there, so I apologize, but it's a good...
That's excellent.
We kept the audience, I know.
I love it. Well, let me say two things. First of all, in order to get career insurance, to get a policy in that, you need to have relationship intelligence. And this is what we know statistically, that majority, I work primarily with the C-suite, the senior level people.
But this applies.
But I was just going to say, but it applies across the line. It doesn't matter what level you are on the totem pole, you need to and if anything, if you want to get your career off the ground and you're coming out of college or you're coming into your 20s, you're going into your second job
and
maybe
let's
now.
also talk too, this can apply to trades.
Absolutely.
You could be getting a welding certificate. These things, these hierarchies still exist no matter where we're at.
Absolutely. In fact, you just made me think of something I haven't thought of in 25 years, okay. And I was in Montreal, I was speaking there, and the cab picked us up, okay? And I get into the cab, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he turned around, he offered me a chocolate. You could tell that there was a wafting of perfume in the cab. You could, he turned around and offered a cigar to a couple of the men that I was with. I mean, he was absolutely understood relationship intelligence. He knew how to connect with us viscerally and on that connecting.
And quickly.
And quickly.
Because this is short term.
He had us from hello, okay? So in relationship intelligence, if you really want your career to move, the sooner you get those relationship skills, look at your intelligence.
And as a young person, this is how you get picked out to be that one promoted through the ranks, whereas all the rest around you go into that middle place, that zone where all of a sudden they disappear after 15, 20, 30 years.
Absolutely. And what you're also hitting on is soft skills are the least respected, and yet they are the most powerful.
Yes.
So if you
and soft skills means motivation, take charge, performance, on time, appearance, etc.
And how to connect with people and how to engage them, how to inspire them. And the other thing that I would say is one of the things that I do, I call it low risk, high yield. Okay. So every day I go out with a low risk, high yield. First of all, I'm an introvert. That's number one. And number two,
yeah, right. I'm laughing. I'm sorry, but go ahead.
Okay. I didn't talk till I was 6.
Okay.
My mother, couldn't. In fact, in the first grade, they said, if Cecilia doesn't start talking, we're not going to be able to pass her. So my mother said, thank goodness for my first grade teacher, But again, it was a long time before I had to learn these skills on my own. There wasn't anybody teaching me. But what I did know is if I was going to move along in my career, I needed to move along. So anyway, I developed this low risk, high yield. And what this means is every day, whether I'm at Target, if I'm at radio show, it doesn't matter where I am looking to see if I can engage the person. And so if I can engage them, and like now when I go into Marshall's, oh my gosh, there are people there, oh, Cecilia, how are you? Because I've engaged them. Then I take my game up, and then I take my game up. And if I can make them smile, oh man, I give myself like 100,000 points. And if I can make them laugh, I get like 500,000. So one of the times what I did is I took myself to TAS, those TSA people at the airport. Do you know?
Yes, TSA.
Okay, yeah. And you can't make those people laugh,
no,
right?
They're tough. That's right.
I had them laughing. That was a heck of a day. Then I said, okay, you upped your game there, and you didn't get carted off from security or anything, so that was good. So then I took it up to the IRS. I was able to make them smile and then eventually laugh. So don't go to high risk like that immediately. Go to low risk where you can practice your relational intelligence. And then when you're with your colleagues, you're with your coworkers, you're with your boss, now you've got that moving because you've been practicing.
So you're saying practice with your peers.
Absolutely.
Where you're going to have a level of acceptance going in. And as you become more involved and engaged in your company, those become your next peers.
Yes.
And so you keep practicing and keep working this. So low risk, high yield.
Right. And if you are not connected to your coworkers, I can assure you that you are not going to move up the ladder.
Right. You can't. And it's funny because everything you say, my wife just goes nuts because isn't there anybody you won't talk to, Rick? And I'm going, no, because everybody has a story to tell.
Yes.
I want to
and
get
I
it
want to
out.
know the story.
I try to get those stories out, and
I
they're always
love it.
amazing. Okay, let's go to another one of your talking points. Types of networking.
Yes.
Very interesting. Linear, circular, spiral. What does that mean?
Okay, so linear.
We all know networking, right?
Yes.
Get out, meet and greet, shake hands.
Right.
What can I do for you?
Exactly. And most people, when it comes to networking, they do linear. And so that is, I go to you, Rick, and I'm talking to you. And Cecilia, I really, really would like to support you. But I think you really need to talk to Tracy Duez. So you send me over to Tracy, and Tracy says, Cecilia, I hear what you're saying, but the person that you need to talk to is Elmer. So she sends me to Elmer. Sure enough, Elmer, after, going down like 15 people, Elmer hires me. Thank goodness. But it has taken me a flippin' year, maybe, to get there. If I do circular networking, or I go to you, you send me to Tracy, who sends...
Okay, for the people watching the show right now, Tracy was a show we recorded that was aired last week. So you keep
Yes.
referring to Tracy, but she's not here right now.
Well, no, I know, but
let's go
I
ahead.
see her in my brain, okay? So anyway, she was so charming. So this is what I can tell you. So with the circular, I go back to Rick, I go to Tracy, I go to Henrietta, I go to Hortense, and I go to Herschel. Now I come back to Rick, and Rick says, oh, Cecilia, I'm so glad you came back. I couldn't remember who it was I needed to give this information to. I'm so glad you came back. I lost your phone number. My dog ate it. I am so glad you came back because something just crossed my desk. So now what I'm doing is I'm circling back
Circular, right.
because it's like embroidery. I did that once. I was 10. But what I know about embroidery, when you take a stitch, the second stitch you make, you move a little bit ahead, but you're reinforcing the stitch behind. So every time I come back around to you, guess what? Now I'm bonding with you more and more and more, and I'm helping you too.
Spiral?
Spiral is when I want to go up, and I'm looking for decision makers.
Okay. Let's go to the hardest skills to develop.
Hardest skills to develop.
We've only got about 3 minutes left in this
Soft skills are the hardest ones.
Really?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I know it's shocking.
It's too bad because we should get those out of childhood.
Thank you very much,
Yeah.
but we don't. And not only that, but without those, if I gave you another word for soft skills, it's called leadership skills. So if you don't have the leadership skills and you want to move forward in your career, you're going to really be hard pressed. They did some research. 78% of all your senior level people who do not reach their professional goals, and not just senior level, I take that back, it was across the board. 78 people will not reach their professional career goals because of their interpersonal skills, which is their relationship intelligence.
I agree with that. That's interesting too, and that's once again that's a lot of what you and I both teach, the analyticals.
Exactly.
IT engineering, accounting, people deal with truths. Okay, I have to go to this because we only have a couple minutes left, but I have no idea what you're going with this. Forking.
Yes, no forking. No
Okay,
forking
what does
around.
forking mean?
Okay, you hear, I was speaking not too long ago, and there was this, and I asked, does anybody have a really good story to share with us about your transition? And this woman raises her hand and she said, oh my gosh, I just had the most phenomenal interview that you've ever seen. I mean, they love me, but I know they won't hire me because I'm too old. So she forked. A fork in the road. So here she's going down here. She's got the energy. They're really wanting to engage with her. They're exciting. And then she just snuffed and pulled
it all back.
the whole energy out. And then she wonders why she's not moving forward because her energy keeps canceling it out. And so it's like the RAS, the reticular activation system. It's at the base of the skull. It's a small bundle of nerves. One of its jobs is to filter information. So when it knows what you want, it goes after it. But if you keep canceling it out, you're not going to find what you want. You're not going to get what you want, and then you're going to hurl yourself onto walls going, I never get what I want. Well, no, you keep canceling.
Okay, I'll tell you what,
it.
we have about 15 seconds, real fast. Give me a mind over mountain, because I don't want to end on that pullback
Absolutely.
energy.
Mind over mountain.
What does that mean?
Mind over mountain is get really, really clear on what your lobster is. So your lobster is, what is the thing that I love, that I want. And then you laser in on that, and you just keep focused. Even if somebody offers you a redfish, you're open to the redfish.
We gotta go.
But you get that lobster every time because it's mind over mountain.
And you can see how hard it is for me to kill Cecilia Rose, the guest. I know she's got so much more to say, and we could have kept going for a long, long time. You've been watching You've been watching HCC's Get a Job TV show. You got me cracked up. This show is recorded live in Main Street Studios in Houston, Texas. Thanks to the crew and staff that make this show happen, and thank you always for watching. If you need to know more about how to manage your own job search, drop by rickgillis.com. Check out my new book. It's called Job. While you're there, if you have a suggestion or a comment for the show, please drop me a line. If you have a guest suggestion, please drop me a line. As always, I wish you good job hunting.